Hello everyone and welcome to my Soap Twist 24 channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before we begin, please hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. Bridget had always been the steady one, the doctor who put together people's lives in the operating room while her own personal life fell apart. She adored Bill, her 10-year spouse, with quiet fury, even when his ambition as a lawyer overshadowed their marriage. She had trusted Luna, her younger sister, who always seemed to have a spark of mayhem in her smile. And she had trusted Will, Bill's best friend, who had been like a brother to her until now. The DNA test had shattered that fragile trust, revealing a secret as sharp as any scalpel. Luna, 7 months pregnant, had declared to everyone that Will was the father. She had sobbed in Bridget's arms, seizing a fleeting moment of desire during one of Will's late-night visits to their family home. Bridget believed her and even defended her when Katie, their overprotective older sister, questioned Luna's story. Katie, a professional investigator with a nose for duplicity, had never believed Luna's tears. "She's hiding something," Katie warned, her voice tinged with mistrust. Bridget brushed it aside, attributing it to Katie's skepticism. But now that she had the DNA findings, Bridget felt the weight of her mistake. Bill had been the first to view the results. Bridget had left them on the kitchen counter, planning to quietly discuss them and decide what to do next. But Bill didn't remain cool. He was a man of action and decisive strikes, and when he realized the truth, that Luna's baby was not Will's, he burst. "She lied to us," he roared, his voice echoing throughout their apartment. "She has been fooling us all along." Bridget attempted to reason with him, her voice quiet but forceful. "Bill, we don't know the whole story yet. Let us speak with her first." But Bill's face was a mask of wrath, his jaw set and his eyes steely. He did not want to discuss. He sought justice. Before Bridget could stop him, Bill was on the phone with Katie. "Arrest Luna," he commanded, his voice low and nasty. "She lied to us." Katie, who is always quick to act on her suspicions, did not hesitate. She called the police, stating Luna had committed fraud and misled their family for personal gain. Bridget remained motionless, pulse beating, as she heard Bill's words over the phone. This was not what she wanted. She sought answers, not punishment. Unfortunately, it was too late. The wheels were in action, and Luna, pregnant and alone, was about to face the implications of a truth neither of them completely grasped. The police came at Luna's flat that evening. Bridget ran over, desperate to protect her sister from whatever was coming. When she came, she discovered Luna seated on her couch, her hands protectively resting over her enormous belly and her face wan but stubborn. The cops were already there, reading Luna's rights. "You're under arrest for fraud and deception," one of them remarked, his voice bland and procedural. Luna's eyes met Bridget's, and for a moment, there was only the sound of rain outside. "I didn't lie," Luna said softly, her voice breaking. Bridget's throat clenched. I thought he was the father." She wanted to trust Luna and cling to her sister, whom she had always safeguarded. But the DNA findings were unmistakable, and the weight of Bill's rage, Katie's allegations, and Will's silence weighed heavily on her. "Why haven't you told me the truth?" Bridget inquired, her voice barely above a whisper. Luna's eyes filled with tears, but she did not respond. The officers led her away, her hands cuffed behind her back, and her pregnant belly made the scene unbearable. Bridget followed them to the station, her head racing and her heart divided between loyalty to her sister and the gnawing sense of betrayal. Luna was processed at the police station and assigned to a detention cell. Bridget sat outside, hands clenched firmly, hoping for a chance to see her. Bill arrived, his expression still filled with rage. "She doesn't deserve your sympathy," he added, his tone harsh. "She lied to each of us, Bridget. She made a fool of Will, you and me," Bridget said, shaking her head and shivering. "She is my sister, Bill. She is pregnant. We can't just toss her away." But Bill's gaze was harsh and unwavering. "She brought this on herself," he remarked before walking away. Katie came shortly after, her face a mix of triumph and dread. She had always been the one to point out Luna's carelessness and penchant to twist the facts to suit her purposes. But even Katie was affected by the sight of Luna behind bars, her belly a clear reminder of the life lost in the crossfire. "I had to do it," Katie explained, her tone defensive. "She can't just lie and expect us to clean up her mess." Bridget said nothing. She could not. The gravity of the situation was crushing, and all she could think about was Luna, alone in her cell, and the baby who would soon be born in a place no kid should ever visit. Days passed into weeks, and Luna remained in captivity. The allegations against her were flimsy, fraud based on her claim about the baby's father. But Bill's influence as a lawyer, along with Katie's tireless pursuit, saved the case. Bridget paid Luna daily visits, bringing clothes, novels, and anything else to make the cell feel less like a cage. Luna was quieter now, her spark fading, but she insisted she hadn't lied. "I was with Will," she explained one day, her voice firm despite the tears in her eyes. "I'm not sure why the test suggests otherwise. I'm not sure who else it could be." Bridget wanted to believe her, but uncertainty gnawed at her. The test was clear. Science did not lie. But they did. Will, meantime, had disappeared. He hadn't returned Bridget's calls or showed up to explain himself. She found him one evening at a bar on the outskirts of town, his face haggard and his eyes red from too much whiskey. "Why didn't you say anything?" Bridget demanded, her voice trembling with anger and hurt. "You let Luna take the blame for this. You sent her to jail." Will glanced at her, his countenance saddened. "I didn't know," he said, his voice hoarse. "I believed I could have it. But when the test results came back, I couldn't take it. I couldn't face you." Bridget's heart dropped. Will wasn't the man she'd imagined he was, and that discovery hurt just as much as Luna's treachery. As Luna's due date approached, Bridget battled for her release, at least until the baby arrived. She hired a lawyer and used every connection she had, but Bill's influence was greater. He was determined to punish Luna for what he viewed as a personal betrayal. Bridget begged with him night after night, but he would not listen. "She's not your sister anymore," he stated one evening, his tone icy. "She's a liar," Bridget said him, her heart hurting. "So, what are you?" she asked gently. "What type of man would put a pregnant lady in prison?" Bill didn't respond, but the gap between them widened, a chasm that neither could bridge. Luna went into labor in the middle of the night while alone in her cell. Luna was already in the hospital, confined to her bed, with a guard stationed outside her room, when Bridget received the notification. Bridget hurried by the cop, her doctor's instincts taking over as she examined Luna's paperwork, vital signs, and suffering. Luna was pale and weary, but her eyes brightened when she saw Bridget. "I'm scared," she muttered quietly. Bridget seized her hand and squeezed it tightly. "I'm here," she said. "I'm not going anywhere." The baby arrived shortly after daybreak, a tiny girl with Luna's dark eyes and a sweet wail that crushed Bridget's heart. Luna named her Hope, which felt both cruel and beautiful in the sterile hospital setting. Bridget cradled the infant as Luna rested, her small body warm against Bridget's chest. For a little while, it appeared that everything would be fine, that they could repair what had been damaged. But then the guard stepped forward, warning them that Luna would be sent to the detention center as soon as she was allowed to go. Bridget's throat tightened with grief. She couldn't save Luna just yet, but she could safeguard Hope. Bridget accepted possession of the infant and brought her home to the apartment. She now lived with a husband who felt unfamiliar. Bill hardly looked at Hope, his wrath for Luna spilling over to the innocent youngster. Katie, too, kept her distance, her remorse clashing with her firm conviction that she had done the right thing. Bridget was alone, caring for a newborn while fighting for her sister's freedom, all while her marriage fell apart and her faith in those she loved dwindled. Luna's case took months to resolve. Bridget worked tirelessly to gather evidence and track down anyone who could reveal the truth about the baby's father. She discovered a man, a stray figure from Luna's past, who confessed to a brief contact around the time Luna conceived. He had no idea about the pregnancy and had not stayed in touch. Bridget felt relieved when the DNA test confirmed that he was Hope's father. Luna had not lied purposefully. She had been confused, terrified, and alone, just like Bridget was now. Bridget approached Bill, armed with new proof. You have to drop the charges, she continued, her voice firm despite the tears in her eyes. She did not lie. She made a mistake. Bill's expression was unclear. It's too late, he replied. The case is out of my hands, he said. Bridget was skeptical. She could see the truth in his eyes. He refused to let go of his anger and need for control. She walked away, knowing their marriage had ended even if the paperwork hadn't been signed. Luna was released a month later, with the charges dismissed as a result of Bridget's continuous advocacy. She returned home to Bridget's flat, thin and fatigued, but full of gratitude. She held Hope for several hours, crying softly while the baby slept in her arms. Bridget watched them with a full and broken heart. Katie stopped by, her apologies slow but genuine. I thought I was protecting us, she confessed, her voice full of guilt. Bridget nodded, but their confidence was frail, like a thread stretched thin. We'll never return. Bridget learned that he had gone across the country in search of a new beginning. She didn't care. Her world had arrived, with Luna and Hope putting together a new kind of family from the ruins of the old. The rain continued to fall outside, yet there was warmth inside, delicate but real. Bridget had no idea what the future contained, but she was determined to fight for it, for Luna, for Hope, and for the love that persisted beneath the anguish. Bill, she continued softly, that proves everything I told you. I did not lie. The baby is not Will's. Luna was... Enough, Bill snapped, slamming the papers on his desk. Do you expect me to believe this nonsense? Bridget, you faked these findings. I know you. The accusation struck her like a slap. Do you believe I'd fake DNA results? I believe you would do everything to appear innocent. He turned away, raking a hand through his hair, his jaw clenching. You've always had a knack for twisting things. You claimed Luna was lying, but she confessed. She is now in jail because of you. Because she lied. Bridget's voice broke. She lied to protect herself, and you're letting an innocent woman suffer in prison. But Bill did not glance at her. He didn't notice the desperation in her eyes. His thoughts were elsewhere, poisoned by rage, fear, and the weight of his reputation. The controversy had already torn the family apart, and now Bridget said the proof he relied on was incorrect. He exited the room, without saying another word. Bridget collapsed onto the chair, holding the results to her chest. The paper trembled in her palms. Luna was pregnant when they locked her up, and Bridget knew the truth. She knew it was not the father. But nobody believed her. Across town, Luna sat in her prison cell, one hand on her swelling stomach. The low hum of the fluorescent light filled the void. Every night, she reflected on what had happened. The lies, the dread, the betrayal. Bill had vowed to help her. He had stated that he would protect her. But when Bridget's story began to unravel, he turned against both of them. She still remembered the last time she saw him before being arrested. Just tell them the truth, she urged. Tell them it wasn't me. Bill had given her the same hard stare he had given Bridget. You made your decision. I can't repair this right now. He then walked away, leaving her to face the storm alone. Now Luna whispered lovingly to her unborn child. You're all I have left, she muttered. She took a deep breath, bracing herself for what was coming. Whatever occurred, Luna was determined to protect her family, even if it meant destroying her own heart. The silence in Bridget's modest kitchen seemed like a storm about to break. Luna's hands trembled around the coffee cup that she hadn't touched. Her knuckles were pallid, and her eyes puffy from sobbing. Bridget looked across the table at her, divided between sympathy and incredulity. The envelope lay between them like a curse, its edges wrinkled from being held too tightly. Luna had brought it, begged her to open it, but then begged her not to. The truth was already inscribed within, but neither desired to see it in the light. Please, Bridget, Luna said, her voice quivering. You can't tell anyone. Not Finn. Especially not him. Bridget's throat contracted. She had never seen Luna like this before. Vulnerable, anxious, and desperate. Luna was usually composed and sharp, and she handled secrets with quiet precision. But now she was undone. Luna, you asked me for help. You brought it here. I had to see that. I know, Luna wailed, clutching her hair. But I didn't expect it to say that. I figured it would prove me wrong. God, I thought that would make everything go away. Bridget gazed down at the clinic's letterhead, the clinical font that made something so human seem cruel. The results were apparent. The paternity test did not lie. The newly confirmed child was not who everyone expected. And if Finn found out, the consequences would be awful. Finn's going to lose his mind, Bridget murmured quietly, almost to herself. Luna, this isn't simply a scandal. This may ruin everything. You understand how protective he is. Luna pushed her fists on her face, feeling proud. He will detest me. He'll despise all of us. I made an error, Bridget. Only one. I didn't expect it to follow me like this. Bridget sighed and sat back. Finn had always been the type of man who saw the world in extreme terms, devotion or treachery, truth or falsehoods. He'd made a name for himself by maintaining control over his family and business in the face of global instability. To him, being a father was sacrosanct. And now, to inform him that he was going to become a grandfather, not to the child he imagined, but to another man's, the sound of Luna's phone vibrating on the table jolted Bridget out of her reverie. Luna's breath caught as the name flashed across the screen. It was Finn. Luna let it ring till it stopped. When it started again, she turned the phone over, so she couldn't see it. He knows something's wrong, she said quietly. He always does. He stated that he wanted to meet tonight because it was vital. I informed him I was not feeling well, but he did not trust me. So, what are you going to do? Bridget inquired. You can't avoid him forever. I'll tell him. Luna hesitated. I will tell him what he needs to hear. Not true. Not yet. He can't handle it. If he knew, he would ruin everything. You have no idea what he can do when he feels betrayed. Bridget looked at her uneasy. She'd heard stories about Finn's calm fury and how he made people disappear from his life, or theirs, when they crossed paths. Not violence, but something colder. Finn didn't yell. He went into exile. He erased. And Luna, despite her strength, was not prepared to be wiped. Later that night, Finn sat alone in his office, with an unfinished glass of whiskey beside him. Luna's message had been brief. I needed time. Please trust me. But Finn didn't give trust readily anymore. He'd spent years erecting barriers to keep out lies, to safeguard the family name, and to defend Luna herself when the world sought to bring her down. And now, just when she needed him the most, she's hiding something. He could feel it like a fissure in the foundation. He learned about his impending grandfatherhood from a relative, who made an offhand joke and congratulated him, leaving him astonished. Luna hadn't informed him. His daughter had not told him. He needed to find out from someone else. He had laughed it off at first, believing it was rumor, but now he was unsure. Something did not fit. He glanced at his phone, Luna's name on the screen, his hand hovering over the call button. For years, he'd shielded her, covered up her mistakes, and ensured that her life remained pristine in the eyes of her family and the media. Bridget's doorbell rang, prompting him to question her honesty. She hesitated, looked through the peephole, and froze.